So unfortunately today, as I mentioned just a few seconds ago, we are falling down. We're down by about 33 cents. This is 1.5% so far. Market closes in about 5 minutes, so clearly we don't have long to go. But yeah, it's basically just been a free fall for the majority of the day. No particular support, arguably a small one down here, where we hit lows of the day, I do believe, which were around 21.41. But yeah, it's been a pretty red day overall. A bit of gains here, but clearly they were wiped out, and we've been falling ever since. 5-day period has seen a big green day on Tuesday into Wednesday, but again we did not last up there and we have been falling ever since, unfortunately. The 1 month down here is pretty flat, to be honest, but we are still falling. It's been a slow and steady decline over the past month, and the 6-month period has been very mixed, as you may or may not know. But let's have a look as to why. So first things first, the most recent news that we do have is good. It talks about Lucid Air's EV, which will come in a Dream Edition, which will give approximately 933 horsepower to 1,111 horsepower. First things first, that is insane. 1,000 horsepower from a car like this, but there we go. That is what we are seeing in basically both editions, but that is a completely different topic. Getting back to the company itself, we can see these sort of things which it will provide, but unfortunately it will start from an eye-watering $170,000. So clearly it's unobtainable to people like me and you probably, but yeah, it does seem to be a very, very cool car. Regardless, so this is not the main news, even though it is good. The fact that this is coming out actually does kind of come with a negative, because when we look over here, we do have a proposed bill, I believe it is, which speaks about the tax credits and the benefits basically for driving electric cars. So here we can see charges to the tax deductions for people buying EVs are expected to be included. And again, right now there is a federal tax of $7.5 thousand for consumers buying an EV. Now clearly this is in the United States, but we have something very similar here in the United Kingdom. The simple reason for that is because, just incentivizes people to buy electric cars, and that is good for the environment. But obviously now we are talking about a potential change to this in the future. Down here we can see that this new potential bill does speak about reducing this to cars worth only $40,000 or earners who get $100,000 a year or less. So ultimately, the people who will be buying this car for $169,000 will probably earn more than $100,000 a year, and if they don't, they are obviously buying a car which is worth more than $40,000 anyway. So clearly, this will not be exempt. Now, like I said, the whole idea of this discount is clearly to be an incentive for people to drive electric cars and save the planet. With this gone from premium electric cars, will it hurt the brands, specifically Lucid in this instance? Well, we don't know for sure, and it is still too soon to say in my opinion. I think people will probably go on to buy a Lucid Motors car because they think it is cool anyway. But yeah, it definitely could have a hindrance. I think some people are probably fearful about that potentially. But now let's move on to the, the technical analysis. And another thing is we don't really have too much news coverage when we look specifically at Lucid Motors. We hear a lot of companies being talked about in the news at the moment, but Lucid isn't really one of these. It's kind of been left out of the limelight, if you will. If you remember a few months ago, people were talking about SPACs all the time, and now it's not really something which people do talk about as much. And Lucid Motors is one of these which has kind of, unfortunately, gone under the radar in a way, as people haven't really noticed it. But regardless, let's have a look at what we are seeing on the technical side. On the 1 day, we are seeing a moving average figure down here of 21.47. That's slightly below where we are right now at 21.51. And by the way, the markets have just closed. So yeah, we are currently sat on 21.51, and we are slightly above the moving average, which is fine. We've seen an RSI figure of 60. It pushed a little bit higher towards the end of the day because we had a very small recovery, but that is what we are seeing for there on the 1 day. Things obviously become a bit more clear and a bit more inclusive when we look out to the 5-day chart. As we can see, the moving average is ever so slightly above where we are right now, but not really by a significant amount, so it isn't really too concerning. We are pretty true to that moving average, and again, we are only slightly higher on the moving average because this big pump in price and a subsequent drop did kind of catch out the movement of the stock. So again, it is slightly higher than where we are because it is a lagging indicator. Now, the 50-day moving average down here is showing us a figure of 24.10. Now, this is obviously lagging because it is over the past 50 days, and yes, it is quite a lot higher than where we are right now, but it definitely is coming more into line with the actual price of the stock at the moment. We're seeing an RSI figure down here of 40, which is quite neutral. Bear in mind, guys, 50 is absolutely neutral, 20 is oversold, and 80 is overbought. So in my opinion, 40 is completely fine. We are currently seeing a MACD trend, which was almost coming bullish at them in a while ago, but yeah, now we are seeing this unfortunately go back into the red side. We're seeing 2 candles down here to the red, as we have seen 2 negative days, and these lines were about to cross over, but unfortunately they did not do so, and now they appear to be coming more far apart again, and they appear to be dropping further. Unfortunately, we're seeing a figure on those at minus 0.5, and the volume for today was about 9 million, sat at 8.99 million to be very specific, so it really wasn't a bad day when we look at volume. It was pretty in line with what we have seen in the past 4 or so days, so that isn't really too concerning. So ultimately, Lucid Motors as a company, I think fundamentally it does have that potential. It really does. I think going forwards, we do still have the opportunity for growth on this one. Again, whether the news which I have highlighted in this video is actually concern to investors, I am not sure. But I think it is questionable to say whether it will have an impact on cars which are worth this much. Because people who are buying a car for almost $200,000, whether they are bothered about a $7,000 tax let off basically, I'm not too sure whether that is the case, but one thing that I do think is the truth is that CCIV, or should I say LCID now, isn't really getting as much coverage as I believe it potentially should when it comes to the news at the moment. So I don't think as many investors are as informed as they might want to be about this company. Just my personal thoughts and opinions though, and definitely not financial advice. But thank you for watching. I'll see you soon. Thank you for watching through till the end, but let me tell you about our Discord. So on your screen you will be seeing the N2S Finance Discord. Obviously it is split into multiple sections. Basically at the top we have updates from me and all that kind of good stuff. If you scroll down a bit further we have the main sections where we focus on cryptos, SPACs and other hot stocks including penny stocks, even stable growth stocks as well, and we even have a special AMC GME chat. If you scroll down you can see some research and DD from the community. We also have funny memes and you can see actual contributions from members down here. And again, if you do join us, it is completely free, link is down below. But if you do want to become a Patreon, you will actually get a pink sticker which will be displayed on your name. So your name will come up in pink as mine comes up in red down here, and that will show that you are a Patreon. But other than that guys, you can join completely for free down below. You do not have to pay anything if you do not want to. Thank you for watching, see you soon.